Professor Walter, as you have a you studied in and you work in Germany and America and just now in a Norway. So each country and each university has its own specialty of courses and curriculum and all these things. How you benefited due to this internationalization of your three country experience regarding the enriching the curriculum and due to having this type of experience?
Well, my experience of having this variety of academic backgrounds and respective academic communities and respective schools of thought, which
Yeah.
are slightly different, not totally different, but they are different in Germany
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
United States and also in Norway. I principally always am of the opinion that more perspectives are better than fewer or just one perspective, because you simply see more things if you look at things from different angles.
Yeah.
And I try to convey this in my personal teaching as well. I
Oh.
make it explicit for the student that things can look different from an American angle or from a German angle. And students are usually quite receptive to that. They also like a personal approach where you supply personal anecdotes and stories that illustrate general points.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Professor Aspen, as you also visited so many universities, and when you design your course in your university, really when you visit to different universities under a internationalization of higher education, and you come across the different curricula of your own course, and there may be a different theoretical part or little bit different practices and practical aspect and to of that course. Really, how it helped to you to enrich your or design the new curricula or design the new course?
I think it has been really important to visit different universities to learn more about what is happening actually in research and in teaching and in the curriculums around. For instance, in a collaboration with you and
Yeah, yeah,
SPPU,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
after that we focused more on multiculturalism, for
Oh,
instance,
yes,
in the
true,
courses.
true.
And after I went to work with a university close to Seattle in America, critical multiculturalism was added to it.
Yeah.
And then in Sweden, in Malmö, then it was added like a very investigative way of learning, like challenge-based learning it's called.
Okay.
So you
Yeah, yeah,
reach
yeah.
out and go to places and work on real problems which exist in the society, and kind of mixing together, taking in perspectives, has made my teaching better.
Oh, good, good, good. Also, in the internationalization of higher education, the more and most important area and aspect is the research.
Yeah.
Just now you also said that the research is taking place and we exchange the ideas while the research, and we have a project which will really solve the global problems, like a sustainable development education is one of the aspect, and every country having a democratic values and how democratic practices are there in each country or each university is followed. And regarding that, there are so many areas in a scientific research. There are other in a physical research, computational research, in a biological research, life science research, social science, education, legal education. Every country has its own problem, and through the higher education, they do the research and all this thing. And due to that, they emerge. But through the only the research article, we know that in which country, which type of research is going on. But when actually we have under the internationalization, we visit the place and directly interact with the research scholars, also the faculties, and that enriches our own experiences. That may be in a research methodology, that may be in selecting the area, that may be analyzing it, applying it, and then go ahead in all these things, isn't it? So, what type of actual concrete research projects you are handling under the internationalization of higher education?
We have a collaboration with Pune when it comes to, we are looking into three cross-cutting themes in teacher education actually.
Yeah.
Sustainable development, citizenship or democratic citizenship even, and life skills.
Yeah.
And to develop that further, you know, the research in this area, comparative research might add to it, you know, and that researchers from different traditions meet to discuss, to develop projects together, gives more perspectives to the whole collaboration, the research collaboration, brings in more perspectives.
And Professor Walter, just here, Professor Asman has narrated three areas. In that sense, you had interacted now to a Indian student of Savitribai Phule Pune University, and before that you interacted with the Norwegian students, and I think in an informal discussion and at the time of you said that the approach of thinking towards the sustainable education or a democratic education for democracy and all, or the life skills, the Norwegian students are thinking different and Indian students are totally different. What your opinion regarding this?
It was extremely interesting for me to watch the discussions and the dialogues actually that happened with respect to these three topics and areas of interest. And I'm just principally convinced that having different points of departure and viewing things slightly but not totally different. I mean, there were a lot of areas where I could recognize the same concerns and the same views that you would meet other places in the world, including Norway. But this combination of similarities on the one hand and differences in some areas on the other hand is extremely instructive, interesting, and inspiring, last but not least.
That's true.
I think that with respect to both research and teaching, the best results come as a result of teamwork. And in a team, it is not necessary that all have the same qualifications and the same perspectives and the same views. It's like playing football. If you have 11 players who are good at keeping the ball or shooting goals, or you have to have 11 different players. To do a good sport.
Do you think that the internationalization of higher education, the research aspect, the quality of research enriched to this?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm convinced that this is.
We also experience that now. We in India, the methodology you follow it, and even though the same methodology, but the procedure you follow it, we learn from you. And we are using it for our phenological studies and other studies and like that qualitative research, how to improve the conducting the research by procedural way to improve the internal validity of a research, data collection, how you do it very differently. We can have that best practice in our research and enriching our research. That always happen.
Exactly.
That means along with the creation of knowledge, along with the application of knowledge, the research process also improved due to the exchange of views. Isn't it? Are you both agree with me?
Yeah,
Yes. Now, this we know that this internationalization of higher education benefit for exchange of curriculum, exchange of student, exchange of faculty, then collaborative research and connecting to each other and all these things. So, how your university is facilitating the internationalization? Are you having any special section, department, center, and how that center is supporting to student and faculty to encourage internationalization?
We have an international section at or department at the University of Southeastern Norway,
Yeah, yeah.
which and also at every campus, because there are several campuses at the university, and there is always one responsible for international relations, and they are supporting us writing applications, for instance, for funding. That is
Okay.
one point.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're also supporting incoming and outgoing students, like students coming to Notodden, for instance, the campus we work at. The international students are secured a place to live. They get information about
Their insurance, their health,
yeah,
their staying arrangement, their
exactly.
visa, and all these things. That
Yeah.
means this center is facilitating to both staff and
Yeah.
faculty and students regarding all aspect of their mobility,
Absolutely.
right from application to then credit exchange, because the student will come to the different university and they will spend one semester there. Which subject they learn, where you have to credit it to his own home university registered degree. That also, that all the facility is taken, facilitation is taken by the international center. It's fine. So yes, you
On
want
a
to say?
more general level, one might also add that in Norway, due to state financing of education, students are actually encouraged and get a lot of money
Yeah.
to go abroad, to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
other places.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not a cost to them. It's even financially rather a benefit than a cost, and that of course makes it more likely that people
Yeah,
try to
as,
study.
as you are rightly saying that the mobility without funding cannot be possible. And then everybody wants to move and to the another university to have a wider experiences in his own subject, teaching, research, and different areas of higher education. So, what are the sources university, your university is actually utilizing for the mobility of the student?
We have like the noted collaboration, which is a 4 year program where we have external funding.
External funding which they give.
And we have this European program you talked about, Erasmus,
Yes.
which is also a possibility. But there are also a few students that go abroad without funding from the university. It's because they get loan and scholarship from the state, actually,
Okay.
which makes it possible.
To
So
them.
this is something which makes it feasible for a lot of Norwegians to go abroad.
That means
even
state has a
without-
policy to support financially by loan or scholarships.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it? And there are so many other external funding agencies like Noted, then India Norway Council, India Australia Council, and then DAD, Erasmus, as you said. There are so many SASNet program with the Sweden in South Asia. Like there are so many agencies, but the student and teacher has to explore it, and they have to apply within their time slot for the application. And when if the application is really impressive and conditions are they fulfilling, the funding is getting it and we are beneficiary of this, and due to that noted funding you are here and enjoying the internationalization of higher education, isn't it? So at the end we can say that the curriculum and the policy, curriculum exchange, mobility of a staff and student, each university and the state needs to be have a very we can say encouraging policy for that, the research projects to be sound research project, so that external funding agency will support that, and through that mobility or internationalization is taking place. So friends, I hope that due to our discussion in what areas the internationalization in higher education is taking place, how the funding is taking place, what are the challenges, how they facilitated each university, as the Savitribai Phule Pune University is also having a international student center. That center is supporting wholly to the all the home students, their own students, and also the incoming student from other universities, to ease their mobilization and faculty very easily, so that they will be not any problem, no hardness there. It will be a smooth mobility among them, and they will be benefited through this. By and it is not only a one time somebody is coming, and that collaboration, that connection enhances in a big projects, and new funding agency, they collaboratively apply for it, and this type of exchange is always going on, and the globe higher education is benefited through this, to creation of knowledge, to creation of, by using this knowledge, created knowledge, to create a wealth, and how this the problems of the globe is established, economy is boosted through this, and the social justice or social equality is established through this higher education. One of the major aspect which is the 21st century's higher education's one of the important and vital part of the higher education. I think our teachers well versed now the internationalization of higher education. I thank to both our friends from Norway exchanging their views about the internationalization of higher education. Thank you and Dhanyavad.